I accept those flaws. I know who I am, right, wrong, or indifferent. I know what drugs make me. I know my genetic structure, but I know what my heart wants, loves, likes, and I know what the Bible tells me, and I know what's right, wrong, or indifferent. And I'm not going to continue to allow nobody else to take that shit from me. I'm not going to continue to put my dreams on hold because of what I went through. I'm solid, and I'm going to continue to stay that way. And I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody else but myself and but God. So if this ain't... Let's get it going. Either you with me or you rather see me fall. First they love you, then they fade in with the fall. I give away a prayer for I let you have my heart. All I felt was pain, swear it left me with some scars, tears. Let's go, man. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome you all to the very official first episode as the Honest As It Gets podcast. I'm your official host. Most probably know me back home and across the world. It's Paperboy. But today, I'm just myself, Rondell, Gerald, my stage name, Gerald Kinsey. Today, I'm just Rondell. I'm just here to just tell my story and just give y'all a briefing on this podcast and what this podcast is about. So before we get into it, I'd like to thank God for this moment and this opportunity of giving me this platform, because without him, I wouldn't be in the position that I am today. So, yeah, man, we feeling good, we smiling, we happy. We ain't dwelling on, no negativity, we ain't dwelling on the past. We looking forward, because that's the whole purpose of this podcast. It's not only for me to clear my mind and, just kick it and keep it real. I feel like a lot of times we perceive people from based on what the little bits and pieces that we know, and it'd be realer than that, it'd be deeper than that. So I'm here to just kick it, man. Every episode is gonna be different. It's gonna be elevating. Some episodes gonna be inspiring. Some episodes we gonna we're gonna uplift the people. We're gonna tell my story. I also got a few interviews lined up with a few people I've been speaking to. So this podcast, the dynamic of this podcast, man, like I said, I just want to give you a briefing on how it started. So last year, I would say about a year and a half ago, I took myself on a personal journey that was well needed. I felt like it was time to get away and clear my mind. And I was escaping, a lot of things that I had to deal with personally. So I signed myself into a rehabilitation center. And the rehabilitation center that I signed myself into was in Pennsylvania, White Deer Run, Allenwood, Pennsylvania. I felt like it was needed because it was time to just deal with those problems that I was straying away from. So upon my arrival to White Deer Run, Allenwood, I made that decision, that conscious decision that, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm better than this. I'm not about to go out this way. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the way that everything is being perceived. But in all honesty, this is the Honest As It Get podcast. We're going to keep it real. We ain't doing no fabricating. We ain't doing no capping. So, yeah, man, it was time for me to go deal with those things. So I went to rehab. I spent about 5 months out there in Allenwood, Pennsylvania. So the reason being for me going to rehab, it was from not only just suffering from a severe cocaine addiction, and but it was also time for me to deal with my mental health. Those things that was bottling up inside. For, in all honesty, everybody, currently, of course, back home know what I went through. And it take a lot for me to be in front of this camera to even speak on this with y'all. So, but I feel like it's necessary for myself, for my family, for those who really know me as an individual and as a person, and understand that some people might go through some, different things in life. We struggle with different things. Nobody's perfect. And I feel like today's world is so caught up in everything want to be perfect and the glitz and glamour. This ain't the podcast for this. This ain't the place for this. We're going to keep it real. I'm going to show you when things is going good. And I'm going to also show you when things ain't going too well. You know what I'm saying? Because I spent too much time in my life worrying about what people think about me and giving my all, to people, like, and it wasn't reciprocated. That love wasn't reciprocated. But like I was saying, let me stick to the point. So Upon my going to rehab, that was a place for me to clear my mind, get away from everything. I mean, when I say everything, I mean like family, from my drug addiction, from myself, from my relationship, because I was the problem. I was causing problems at home. I was causing problems with my family. Like I was just, and my life was just full of like, it was just full of chaos. It was just too much for me. So I spent that time in rehab to, do some some soul searching. That consisted of, getting back, walking with, and getting back into, I would say, church. I would say service. I wouldn't really say church. I would get into service, journaling, writing. And from the day one, I came in there honest, as you got to go. For those that, suffer from drug addiction, I pray that those that are out there right now that still suffering, I pray you find peace. I pray that God deliver you from it. I pray you just get that strength to try to go get yourself together. But for those that are familiar with how that thing go, like, how the program go, everybody get a chance when they walk in the door to get the floor. So from the moment I came in, I came real, I came honest, and I just let it all out because, not only was it uncomfortable for me to do in front of a room full of 50 dudes, all different nationalities, all different, colors, shapes, sizes that I don't even know. But I was always built for tough, and God been delivering me, giving me the strength that I needed these past few years to regain my strength, get myself back together, and be in this position that I am today. And I can't express how happy I am about that. So that was a place for me to get myself together. I spent a lot of time writing, music, writing, journaling, just expressing myself, just getting myself together, building relationship with those counselors, those people up here. And I really appreciate them people for, understanding me and not, giving me the time that I needed. So yeah, I went to, spend time in rehab out there. From my transition out there to, coming back home to a program out Helio Health out in Liverpool. That's where I had a lot of time on my hands to, by the grace of God, I just sat down and I figured that transition from a program 8-hour day from 8 in the morning to about 7, 8 at night, you program all day long out in White Deer Run, Allenwood. So that transition from going to Helio Health, where you more or less as a man, as an adult, you gotta have they not all over you all day. You gotta have your own structure. If you choose to sleep all day after you do your program, that's what you do. So I just told myself, like, Rondell, man, it's something you got to do. I got tired of not being creative. I got tired of not being myself. I got tired of not facing a problem. Because at the end of the day, we all deserve to live. We all deserve to have a chance to speak our story from the horse's mouth. So that's what this platform's about. So I spent that time in there. I said, I'm going to do something constructive. I would read, work out, write. And that's when I started just, God gave me that courage and that strength to get back in front of the camera, to get back on Instagram and start just rebuilding, knowing the situation that I was coming out of, knowing how people perception is and all that stuff like that. But I just said, you know what? This is what I love to do. This is what I do. No matter what, I know who I am when I walk into the mirror. I know my flaws. I know what caused me to be a certain way, and I know what don't cause me to be a certain way. And the person that I am, the person that I've been giving y'all and delivering lately, that's just me. That's the real me. That's just always been me. But it's like God is leveling me up mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So that's where I spent those 6 months day by day, creating. I said, there's got to be something I can do that be impactful, to come back in a way where not only am I showing what God can do for me and what God can do for others who transform their life and just figure it's something that I just want to live better. And I thought to myself, I've always been a writer. Music has always been my first love. I've always been a writer. Anybody that know me from middle school, high school, they know I always was a writer. I lost plenty of notebooks over the years, but I always wanted to write a book. That's my thing. I always wanted to write a book. And truthfully speaking, when I was in the Justice Center in 2007, it's a few dudes in there that can vouch for this. You know what I mean? Those that's gonna keep it real. Me and one of the homies from down the way, actually, matter of fact, we came up with this book we was gonna write. It was gonna be called Who But You. And basically the concept of the book was who but you, you know what I'm saying? It's basically like nobody but you can, along with God, nobody you is responsible for your future. who else but you is gonna cause you to fall? Who else but you is gonna give you that drive to, be successful. So that was like basically like the concept around the book, but things didn't work out that way because it was like a, kind of like a joint thing. When you in a can, you be kicking it, this and the third. A lot of things be BS. It be bullshit. Excuse my language, but we gonna keep it real. It be bullshit. So I try to, that's what was going on back then. So in that head, that thought always been in my head for I want to write a book, I want to write a book. I was in the streets. For those that know me, I was really in the streets. I come from a beautiful family. I come from a good family. I ain't never had to be in the streets, in all honesty. So we just gonna keep it real. We ain't doing no faking, like I said. This is the Honest As It Get podcast. We finna go up. We finna turn up. But yeah, I come from that. So a lot of things that I may have wanted to do back in my younger days, I just wasn't ready for it. I always was a creator. I always was a visionary. That's just the type of person that God made me. So I spent that time, to get back to my point. I said, I want to write a book, and I don't want my book to be, I want it to be inspiring. I want it to be uplifting. I want it to be purposeful, but I want it to be my story. So, every day I would just wake up after my groups, after my classes, I would jot down probably about, no lie, about 600-700 words a day, maybe more than that, about 4 or 5 pages a day. Some days about 10 pages a day. And my counselors would vouch for this. My counselors used to tell me that I was a vampire, that I wouldn't even go outside. They used to yo, bro, you need to come outside, get some sunlight. But they didn't understand the mission at that time. And I did, though. And it was just me and God working, and I knew it was something that had to be different, man. So my point is, I ain't here to sell you nothing, but if you ain't haven't already, go get this book. I'm going to tell you like this. I know when I created this book that it wasn't about me selling millions or trying to be a this, that, and the third. This was my story from the horse's mouth, where it's also to help the person who, who may be willing to be, who listen from a story. And I don't know it all, but I do know where I've been from. And I do know that I can use my voice, a reason to help somebody else. So the book is called Streets Raised Me, God Saved Me. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. It's the real deal, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's the real deal. So make sure y'all go out there and support that. Share it with a friend. If you don't want to buy it, know somebody else in the family. If you not feel like you ready or you want to read this type of book, because you got to be a different type of, you got to be in a different mindset to read this kind of book. I'm not going to lie to you. So if you know you're not ready, tell somebody else in the family about it. Get the word out there. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. And so on and so forth. This morning I woke up, right? And my fiance vouched for this. I was telling her the last couple of days that I ain't really been in I ain't had the drive to specifically get in front of the camera lately with as far as the podcast, because I got a lot of other stuff going on that's important in my life right now that I'm trying to just keep focused on a few things. But I made a promise to God with this podcast that I'm going to do it. And I also been promoting it. And I made my word that I'm going to put it out on April 1st. So I'm actually shooting this the day before the 1st. Just to show y'all that I'm dedicated to y'all, that I'm willing to tell y'all the truth. I'm willing to get in front of this camera and build something with y'all from the ground up. And that's what this podcast is about. So my message this morning, I woke up this morning and I usually wake up about between sometimes 4, 5, 6 in the morning to, to start doing my morning rituals and stuff like that, whatever I like to do. I ain't gonna call them rituals, but the morning things I like to do in the morning time to prepare my day. My little bit of reading. Sometimes I might jump into my Bible. Sometimes I might read my little daily affirmations where it give you Bible verses and stuff like that from men's prayer. Sometimes I just pray. I wake up and pray. Sometimes I wake up and just zone out, and before I got to get ready and go off to school, kick it. Might smoke a little joint or something like that. And that's just the God's honest truth. We ain't doing no faking. We ain't doing no capping before I start my day. So this morning I got up, and I'm just going to read it y'all straight from the raw truth. But I'm not going to, disclose Brody's name or nothing like that, because we ain't talk about as far as me, reading this message just out loud right in front of y'all. Though we do in plans of having an episode where, Broken come and voice his opinion. And I just want to read your message for y'all before we get into further for it. So this morning it's this message was written to me last night. The day before yesterday, Sunday 10:41, 10:41 p.m. I ain't see it because I probably was in bed, or I think I was just getting, I'll probably just get home from work. So This morning I wake up and I see it. So I ain't gonna say his name or nothing like that, bro, but I appreciate you. And I just want to put this message out here to show what God can do and show the message, show what God is doing in my life. So go, yo, I know you never really fuck with me. Excuse my language, but we're gonna keep it real. Yo, I know you never really fuck with me, but I always respected you, brother. I'm going through this shit now, my dude. Addiction, and it hit hard to kick. If you have any advice from me or any words of wisdom, I'll take it, bro, because it's hard as fuck out here. I always been a real dude and not embarrassed about what I do. You got a podcast coming about addiction in your life, I'll be the first to be on it or as a guest. I've been doing cocaine since I was 17, bro, and it's crazy because I remember, bro, when we was kids up on Mountain View and, up on Springfield. And I never knew that about him. I never knew that. And so let me continue with the message. He said, bro, I have a hate-love relationship for it. I know this out the blue, but seeing your interview the other day made me want to reach out to you. And any advice you can give me would be much appreciated. So keep up the good work, and I'm glad to see you on a positive note. So that's just let me know that when I seen that this morning, that let me know like, yo, I gotta continue to do what I need to do, because not only that it's helping me, it's helping somebody else. Whatever I'm doing, it's not because of me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's because of God. And a lot of times people think that when you coming from the type of life that I come from, when they hear you say, oh, start speaking on God, and hear you say this and the third, they just think that it's supposed to be this perfect perception of you, that this and the third. And anybody that really know and that be studying their word and read their Bible gonna tell you that it never said in the Bible to come as you are. Most of the people who Jesus walked with, for those that know, that are believers, know that most of them people, maybe 5 of his disciples, was gangsters, alcoholics, or just people who live life in sin. You feel what I'm saying? And I know that I'm chosen. So sometimes I think that sometimes people will see what I'm trying to do now and be like, oh, he's supposed to be this, that, and the third. Nah, I still mess up. I still have flaws, but the way that I choose to live now is so far much different than how I was before. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna get into too much details this episode, because as I can say, you can go on and get further into it. If you want to know what everything right now, you can go on and buy the book today on Amazon. To be there in a couple days. Or you could just sit and let this podcast grow as we kick it, and things gonna get realer and realer, and it's gonna get more. It's a beautiful experience we're gonna go through. But I'm building this up from the ground up with y'all. So, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, everything I'm doing now is because of God. It's because I just came to a realization that, bro, I'm tired of living like a scum. Like, for real, we gonna keep it real. I was on some real wild stuff these last couple years. I was like drugged out. I was tripping, selling myself for less, just whatever, man. It was crazy. So everything I'm doing today is for God, bro. Everything I'm doing today is for God. And I say that in the way of mentally, spiritually, my relationship with him is in a place where I've never, ever experienced a day in my life. And I grew up in the church. I grew up singing in the choir. My grandmother, that's how our house was based. We was a faith-based, I'm not going to say like Christians, because, you know what I mean? Like, people today take that term and use it more as like a fad, or it's like, I don't even get too much into that, because I have my own personal belief, and it ain't on me to judge nobody else. That's not what this podcast is about. But I know for me, my relationship with him is in a better place. It's in a place I've never experienced. So I know I'm being washed over, and I know I'm blessed. And those type of messages that I received this morning is what's going to give me the drive to keep going, to let me know like, yo, Pate, let me know like, yo, Ronnie, it's time. You got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And don't give up no matter what else is going on. Don't get distracted with nothing else, because you got to understand the places and understand the position I put myself in, whether it was right, wrong, or different, and accept that. Because if I don't accept that, ain't no way for me to grow. There's no room for me to grow at all. So understand where I'm at today, understand what it was, and understand where God is taking me. Because, and I pray right now, God give me the strength, because I ain't trying to tear up in front of y'all. But if I do end up crying, it don't even matter, because I'm a man, I'm a human. And we all deal with this. And I'm not about to be in front of this camera doing all this faking in front like that. Like I said, some episodes is going to be, we're going to crack jokes. We're going to laugh. Some episodes, we're going to kick it. For those that have a pure heart, they're going to understand. They might cry with me. Some episodes, we might, you know what I mean? Just let it flow off top, as I'm doing right now. Nothing is scripted. This is all off top. So forgive me for stumbling or whatever, this, that, and the third. But I have a dynamic for this show. I have a purpose for this show. In every episode, like I said, It's going to be a lot more structured because I've been studying the way podcasts should be. Everything I jump into, I study it first and foremost. So this episode, I just ain't want to come up here with no script. I ain't want to come up here with no paperwork, just my book. And it's not even to really sell it because, keep it real, everything else I'm doing is succeeding far more than my book is as far as numbers and sales right now. And that's the God's honest truth. But those who have purchased this book and those who have read this book, I'm telling you what it's done to them and the compliments and how it has helped a few other people. So it is what it is. Yeah, man. So it's a beautiful thing today. Like I said, I can't get no credit for where I'm at today. So I just wanted to come in front of this camera and keep it real with y'all. Let y'all know what this podcast is about. Some episodes may be 50 minutes, some episodes maybe 30, some episodes maybe 45, but right now we just building it up from the ground up. I wasn't even really gonna shoot because, like I said, I've been just so calculating. I just, the way I wanted to, rebuild my brand and come back, I needed to come back correct. That's just something I needed to do for me. But I had to remember too, we humans, it's life. You know what I mean? I was waiting on my perfect setup, the microphone, everything like that. But I'm like, nah, it ain't don't need to be like that all the time. Everything ain't got to be delivered that way. Sometimes people understand you more from the raw truth. They want to hear the truth. We don't always want to hear, like, you know what I'm saying, everything's so structured and stuff like that. So that's what this podcast is about, man. That's what we're going to bring to the table. I appreciate y'all for truly supporting me, for those who have been supporting me. I love it. I appreciate y'all giving me drive. I ain't never stopped praying for myself, and I ain't never stopped praying for those who wish harm against me, or those who may have wanted to reach out during my tough time these past, but didn't know how to. And if you didn't, it's all good. I forgave myself, and I forgive those who I feel personally that may have owed me just a call or whatever, because nobody owed me nothing. I put myself in a situation that I'm bringing myself back from. And some people may think that it's no whatever. I truly don't give a fuck. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I know who I am as a person. I know the flaws that I carry. I know genetic structures. I understand genetic structure. And I understand what the Bible tells me. And I understand as a man. And I know what my heart, my body, my everything. That's just real. And nothing could never take that away. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. It is what it is. We're going to just continue to keep striving. I appreciate all the support, all the love. I can't stress that enough. I love everything that's going on right now as far as the city-wise. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never not going to rock for my city. I'm never not going to rep for my city, no matter where it is I'm at. But me personally, I had to do what I need to do for me, for my mindset, my career, as far as music. And in all honesty, it's not even about chasing the big light or the big dream. Like, I can tell you that, like, that's the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was a teenager, those that know me, that was like, that's all I ever wanted to do. That's all I ever knew. That's all I ever truly been good at, was writing and creating music. This is what my heart desired. This is all I ever do. But these last couple of years, God showed me that he closed some doors for a reason. Some doors get closed personally. Some doors get closed permanently. Me learning and studying this Bible these last couple of years, I've learned that it's a sin to not utilize the talents that God has given us. So with that being said, whatever your talent is, whether it's writing, whether it's sports, or whether you just one of the best nurses in the hospital, or best registered nurse, the best firefighter, whatever that passion God gave you and that gift that God gave you, go after that shit. Go after that. No matter what you're trying to, no matter the flaws you took, no matter your imperfections, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, every man, we all feel, we all cry, we all deal with multiple emotions, several different emotions, but society and our structure, whatever our family structure growing up, they taught us that for men it's such a way, you're supposed to be this way, and we're supposed to. And we are, to a certain extent. But don't never be a way where you're not going to be human. And that's what this podcast is about. That's what I came to deliver, to show you that we all are fucking human. We all are going through stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate all the support. I hope that y'all continue to stay rocking with me. And if, you know what I mean, those that are rocking with me, excuse me. And it's plenty other people, you know what I mean? It's plenty other avenues in the world where I'm going out there, and God is placing me in those positions. There's doors that I ain't walked through, that's my name is being mentioned in. So, and that not only goes for myself, I got to keep it on the eye. So when I speak, a lot of times I may speak on the eye for my story, but it's also for the other person who listening, who, you know, who able to, you know what I mean, to digest it and take what they want from it, because it's food for thought. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help somebody who may be struggling with something that I did that may not have the courage to go seek help, first and foremost, behind the scenes, before you even, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to grow. You got to go through something in order. Well, me personally, I had to go through it in order for me to end up, in order for me to grow as an individual, as a person, as a man, because I've always been responsible to a certain extent, though I felt like, you know, I always felt like I had something to prove. You know what I mean? It's just like I had to grow up. I had a lot of growing up to do. And I'm still growing up. I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beautiful thing about life, is that, you know, you continue to learn more about yourself. God continue to show you more about yourself. God continue to reveal things in front of you. And sometimes I think we miss those moments because we so caught up in what everybody else is doing, or we so caught up in just the fast life. So I'm grateful for the position that I am in today. I can't thank God enough. I can't thank myself enough, because I was buried. I felt like I was dead. I felt like it was over for me. You know what I'm saying? And I accept those flaws. I know who I am, right, wrong, or indifferent. I know what drugs make me. I know my genetic structure. But I know what my heart wants, loves, likes, and I know what the Bible tells me, and I know what's right, wrong, or indifferent. And I'm not going to continue to allow nobody else to take that shit from me. I'm not going to continue to put my dreams on hold because of what I may went through. I'm solid, and I'm going to continue to stay that way. And I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody else but myself and but God. So if this ain't the place for you, this ain't the podcast for you that you want to tune into, that's fine. You can always move along. But for those who are going to be here, we're going to build together. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry together. And we're going to keep this shit real, as honest as it get. I thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all more than you know. Even those that ain't rocking with me and that ain't showing love, or it is what it is. I'm still praying for you, and I love you too. God is good. We all great. We all growing. We all learning. This is the Honest As It Gets podcast. I am your host, Gerald Kinsey, Rondell, Paperboy, whatever it is. Just know that my past mistakes don't cancel my purpose. Peace.